Season 2, Episode 95 with Rob Condella. Buddy, good to have you here. Welcome to PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast, also known as Clear Prop TV and paratalk.org. Not only can you find us here live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, but you can go to clearproptv.com, watch us over on ppgzone.com, because if you don't go to PPG Zone and get yourself a really cool profile, then I don't know who you are. Hey, if you fly and you want to know where other people are that fly, go to ppgzone.com, and there is an interactive map. I don't know if you know this or not, but it's really cool. He doesn't sponsor us. He doesn't give us any money, but I just think he's absolutely amazing. You go to ppgzone.com, go to interactive map, and look at all the pilots that are around you. Contact them, and now you're able to go hang out with your favorite pilots in your area that you probably didn't even know about. Let's say hey to everybody in the chat that's popped up so far. Holy smokes. Look at how many people we got here. We got John Wayne, we got PPG, the other Nick, Robert's in the house, but he's also our guest tonight. Bill H. We got Deweese Milstead, Susan Ray. We got so many other people coming here. Eric, ppglear.com, and Stephen Goodpastor. I'm sure we're going to have more people coming in here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody here on the panel real quick. As always, we know we got ParamontUSA.com, which is our own Linda Anderson. What's up, girl? She's the only one I know that actually brings her pom-poms.
I know.
to the podcast.
Yeah, it's so much fun with these.
I know. I need some pom-poms, but I think people would make fun of me, and I'm not into being made fun of just yet. Oh, I don't care. I'm an old grandpa. Nobody cares about me. But welcome, Linda Anderson. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys want to be on the show, get up with Linda Anderson by going to ParamontUSA.com. So thank you, Linda, for joining us. We also got Jim from Canada. Hey, what's that all about, man? You got that maple smelling money up there, don't you, buddy?
Sure do.
And believe me, if you don't believe me, go up to Canada, grab some of that money, and scratch and sniff that Canadian money, man. It's awesome. Hey, you do printing and stuff up there too, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do all sorts of printing.
Tell us really quick about the printing that you do and how we can get our own stickers if we want them.
Well, you can connect with me through carepp.com or just give us a call at Care Printing, and we can hook you up with whatever type of print work that you want done, stickers, calendars. In fact, we actually have a calendar that is available on ppgzone.com at the moment for paramotoring, and it's a pretty cool calendar. So if you want to take a look at that, you're more than welcome to.
And it's only $10, so you got to go over there and check it out. And if it wasn't for Jim, we wouldn't have this amazing calendar. So we appreciate you, Jim, with that. And if we want to see your crazy shenanigans, isn't there another .com that associated with your crazy shenanigans?
careppg.com.
So you got carepg.com. Wait a minute, what's the first one?
CarePP for printing and publishing.
So got carepp.com and careppg.com.
You bet.
You guys might just go there and check them both out real quick. Thank you very much for joining us, Jim. We appreciate you, buddy. We also got Will Fly in the house. You can find him at willflyppg.com. However, he makes the coolest videos. Every video he pops out, he has 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people that watch it. Tell us a little bit about your crazy flying shenanigans, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to say, Sean, you look super dapper tonight. You got your hair all slicked back. Doesn't he look good?
I'm going for that. I'm going for that '60s look, greasing it back, and racing.
Like the mafia, maybe the mafia,
Sure, sure, why not?
That too. I'm like, look at that.
I just fly so fast in my paramotor, it just sticks like this. I can't keep it going forward anymore.
No, it's good to be here. I just had an amazing flight. I don't know if you've ever had a flight where Yeah, it was marginal. It was kind of, you were expecting it to be bumpy and, not necessarily enjoyable other than the fact that you were flying. But man, it surprised me. It was like butter. I was even able to carve fields and totally unexpected. So I love flights like that. So I'm coming off the high of that experience right now.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Getting high in your paramotor, that's legal. I love getting high legally. That's awesome. And if you haven't been over to Will's channel, definitely go over to willflyppg.com. You will not be disappointed. Make sure you hit that like and that bell notification. But today's not about us. Today's about Rob Condella. What's up, buddy? I mean, this is the guy that came here and said, hey, I want to talk about my crazy paramotor shenanigans. I got some crazy stories to tell you. And we were listening to his, a couple of them before we went live tonight. And I'm telling you, you guys are in for a treat. Rob, welcome to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. You're hyping me up a little bit too much. I don't know how great the stories are, but I do have some stories, from my 2 years now of paramotoring. Like everyone, you have the good days and the bad days. So, thanks for having me, though. Hopefully the video is clear and my audio is clear. So it's my first time doing something like this. So hopefully it goes smooth.
Well, that's not too bad. And you're on your iPad, so I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, it's doing good so far.
That's awesome. Well, this is season 2, episode 95. We got Rob here. He's been flying for 2 years. He's 31 years old, and he's been flying in 14 or 15 states. And you've been to already almost 50 states. You're shy one, I think you said, right?
Yeah, just Alaska.
That's just a hop, skip, and a jump, buddy. I mean,
that one's a little far for the van, so I'll have to plan for that one. It'll take a few weeks.
Well, if you come through here, make sure you look me up.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'm always looking for some new places to fly. So,
did you make it to Hawaii yet?
I did not fly in Hawaii. I was there, but unfortunately, I wasn't paramotoring or paragliding yet. So maybe on a return trip, I could find someone with a paramotor out there, or pack a paraglider. Do some ridge soaring or something cool like that. That might be a lot of fun. Absolutely,
because the van, it'd take forever.
Yeah, it'll be a challenging with the van. Yeah, I'll have to leave that back home for that trip.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick and give us a little background of who you are and how you got into flying paramotors.
Yeah, sure. So I've been flying now close to 2 years, and it's been a great 2 years. It's been frustrating, of course, with being a new pilot and learning about the weather and all that. But my background mostly was in mountain biking. So I set up a van to travel mountain biking and was doing that for a while, and then started getting the itch for something new, something different. And that's when I started coming across, the paramotoring, and thought it'd be something cool to transition into. I have no flying experience, previously. So it was something cool, something new that I can learn and be a beginner at, and, just go through the motions of, just learning all those skills and, that excitement. Because like with mountain biking, I got to a point where, it's just like routine, you've been there, sort of done that, and you're always pushing yourself for that next high or that next achievement. And at a certain point, it gets to a level where, you're really risking a lot for sort of that little bit of gain. So it's been nice to focus on something different. And mountain biking will always be a passion of mine, but the flying has been something really special. I've really enjoyed it.
When you're not flying, do you ride then? Is that what you do?
Yeah, and that's been a really good dynamic. So when I can't fly, I have the mountain bike in the van, or I have multiple mountain bikes in the van. So that way, if it's one of those days where it's too windy or the weather's just not lining up, I can go and explore wherever I'm at and do some mountain biking as well. So it keeps me in shape as well, which, paramotoring, it's a lot of work, but it's not a big cardio workout. That's for sure.
Definitely. Now, we talked a little bit before the show, and you said you have a lot of really cool, exciting paramotor epic adventures that you would like to share. So please go ahead and share some of your epic adventures.
Epic adventures. Well, I guess I'll start off with the van. I've been living in the van full time now for 7 or 8 months. So that's really helped with just being able to fly as much as possible, with having the short flying windows, being early in the morning or in the evenings. It's nice to have that van and be able to sleep at, if I'm at an airport or at an LZ somewhere. So the van's been a really good tool to get me to fly a lot. So I think over the last, year and a half, 2 years of my flying, I've gotten in about a little over 350 hours. 350 hours is thanks to the van. When you could just sort of sleep at your LZ, it makes things a little bit easier instead of waking up and driving to where you need to go. But yeah, I've been to about 15 states so far, and each state is sort of special in their own way. And every time I come back home to Pennsylvania, I sort of, like Pennsylvania the most, maybe because it's my home turf and I'm, familiar with it and that kind of thing. But Pennsylvania has some really good flying. I fly out towards like central Pennsylvania. And it's been a blast. It's been fun to learn there, but it's been fun to grow as a pilot there and explore further and further, going over the mountain ranges, over the dense areas of trees, flying over the rivers and that kind of stuff's been a lot of fun. But yeah, it's hard to sort of pick a favorite spot. Like, of course, flying the canyons in Moab or something like that is special, and it's a little intimidating and a little bit higher risk. But all the places after I've been to them, I come back to Pennsylvania, it's like sort of just beautiful. It's very well rounded. It's always changing with the fog and the leaves and that kind of thing. So it's been a fun journey. Hopefully I'll get some more states going into next year. Some more cool places, do a few more fly-ins. I did a few fly-ins this year, which was a bunch of fun. I did the Bad Apples fly-in. Flying Circus was my first flying I did. And then I just was at Endless Foot Drag. So that was sort of cool to meet the other paramotor pilots in the community.
Well, that's really cool. So what got you into saying, hey, I just want to go and live in a van and then travel around and fly? How did you do that? And how in the world are you funding that? Because I would love to do the same thing.
Yeah. So like I said, the van started off for mountain biking. So it was just for weekend trips, leaving from Pennsylvania, going to Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. And, those weekend trips turned into long weekends and then, week-long ones. And really for me, the van isn't that much of an inconvenience. I really like it. Some people can do well living in a small area and living out of the van and the unknowns of, having a mobile lifestyle. But I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. So how I've been able to do that is pretty much, once the whole, COVID thing happened, I was able to work remote. So I just got really lucky with the timing of getting the van, getting paramotor training. And then with everything going on, I had that flexible work schedule where for the first year and a half, I was pretty much 100% remote. So now is the hard part where I'm starting to transition back into being at a desk and being at the office. And, it's not the most fun thing. You had that freedom for a little bit. You got to, cruise around. And now it's like, I got to go back to, sitting at my cubicle where there's no windows for, 8 or 10 hours a day. So,
oh man,
it's something that, I'm going to try and make it work as much as I can. That's for sure. But it's been hard these last few months having to actually go back into the office and work again.
Oh yeah. I can't even imagine. Of the 14 and 15 states that you've gone through, what was your most epic adventure that you go, you know what, I wish I could go back again because that was amazing?
Oh, I would say it probably has to be, Utah. Utah's got such beautiful terrain, and more specifically, like the Moab area. I know a lot of people have, especially in these last few weeks, have been posting that they've been out there flying around. And it really is beautiful. It's beautiful for the flying and for the mountain biking. So it's like a win-win. There's so much to do out there where you can be out there for weeks or months and not see all the beautiful sights that place has to offer. So I would definitely say Moab is always high on my list. It's probably the top one. It's just fun. It's different. It's way different than Pennsylvania. You have all just that red rock and all that, just like, just intense landscape. So that's cool to fly over. And going back there, that was my first place I flew sort of as an adventure flight when I first started flying. And then when I went back this October, it was really cool to see how my skills progressed, or like how I was more comfortable flying around certain canyons or along certain rock formations, where I sort of saw that progression where I had a little more confidence and skill to, enjoy it a little bit more, take in the beauty of it.
It sounds like you're flying in some amazing places and you have like amazing videos. Do you have some place that you're posting your videos on?
Yeah. So I pretty much just post on, Facebook and Instagram. So Instagram's where I try to post everything. I'm trying to get better with actually doing video. I just sort of take pictures and post a picture or two or a few things on my story. But I want to get better with the video. It's just like or anyone who's edited video before, it takes a lot of time. And, people are putting out such good video content where it's like, unless you have something that's sort of half decent, you sort of don't want to post it. You're like, this isn't good. But I want to try and work on getting more video and capturing that landscape, especially now that I feel more comfortable flying, to be able to take maybe a bigger camera with me and get some more scenic shots of, my friends flying or of the landscape and that kind of thing. But yeah, pretty much just now Instagram. Maybe one day I'll jump on the YouTube bandwagon and do, post up some YouTube videos, but I got to find time for it.
Gotcha. So if we want to see your post on Instagram, how do we get there? Yeah.
So my screen name on that is it's Con 3081. So that's my handle on Instagram. And I believe on YouTube as well, but I don't post anything on there just yet. So, but eventually that'll be my handle for YouTube as well.
Can you say it again so I can write that down?
Yeah, sure. It's CON 3081.
All right. I'll put that in the show notes too. So people that are listening to this on their favorite podcasting app, I'll have his Instagram link down below. Now, since you've been flying in so many different states, you've only been flying for 2 years. I assume that there's been some para oopses or para mistakes that you would like to share or talk about.
Yeah, sure. I could talk about it. So I've had a few oopses along the way. One was a very big oops. I got pretty lucky with it. But yeah, I've been lucky though. Like I'm not, a lot of people have the broken props and all that. I've been lucky with that. But so my one big oops that I had was maybe it was around the 40, 50 hour marker of flying. And it was in Pennsylvania. It was a morning flight. And I actually had a Zoom meeting at 9:30. So I landed, refueled, and I'm like, okay, I can get another, quick 20, 30 minutes in before my work meeting. And I didn't feel like I was rushing myself. And I, went through my pre-flight check, clipped into the glider. And that was at the point where I was starting to get comfortable doing wing overs. And I wanted to practice doing the wing overs and that kind of thing. So I take off and I'm doing wing overs for about a good 20, 30 minutes, from, not super high off the ground because it's a little bumpy up higher, but 500, 700 feet off the ground. And I got towards the end of my flight and I thought, okay, let me just do a few more wing overs. And, I did 1, 2, 3, and I got closer to the ground and I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. And I'm like, I'm going for it. And I hesitated, did a wing over. And all of a sudden I felt my glider let go on the left side. And I went falling into the ground and hit the ground. So what ended up happening was that my glider actually wasn't clipped all the way into the carabiner. So I was flying for a half hour doing wing overs nonstop. I'd climb up, do wing overs for like a half hour. And the whole time I had my riser loop just hanging on to the carabiner with the gate open.
Oh my gosh. Now that is a serious para oops, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't told many people this. So this is the biggest audience that I'm telling this to. I've told to a few friends and, some people who've asked about it, who have, heard through the grapevine about it. But yeah, I got on my last wing over and I was probably about 40 feet off the ground or so. I wouldn't say it was like a wing over, but it was like a wing over into an aggressive turn. And right when I went into like the aggressive turn, I just gave poor inputs and it offloaded my glider slightly. And when it offloaded my glider slightly, that's when it popped out of the carabiner. So I probably counted it was probably a solid 2 seconds before I hit the ground, like a 1, 2, boom, and hit the corn. So I crashed into a cornfield and I hit right on my left side. Of course, the paramotor took a lot of the impact. But I was sort of stunned. The motor was still running. I hit the kill switch. The hoops all crushed in. Props broken. I mean, it looks like the paramotor is just a mangled mess. I actually crushed my my swing arm. The J bars in where I had to sort of squeeze myself out of it because that's how hard the impact was. And I was convinced that the carabiner broke at first. I'm like, wow, the carabiner must have snapped. That's definitely what happened. And I look at the carabiner, and it was completely fine. So then I'm like, okay, well, it must have been the riser loop must have snapped. And I'm like, that's such poor quality. Like, I don't think I'm gonna ever fly again. This is like a new glider. It shouldn't do that. So I fish the glider off the top of the corn and I look at it and it looks fine. So I'm still convinced that something failed on the paramotor. So I bundle up my glider, put my paramotor on my back, and I hiked out of the corn, which was a little bit of an experience because you're pretty much lost in this big cornfield. I didn't know really which direction to walk in. So I just shuffled all my stuff out of the corn and sort of, try to take it all in and see like what went wrong here. So the funny thing with what happened was I actually had a chase cam going when I hit the ground. So I actually got a picture of the moment where the glider popped off the carabiner and I'm sort of free falling towards the corn. So I didn't get a video of it, but I got a picture because it was on time lapse, taking pictures every 1 second. So I have a picture to prove it.
You got that on your Instagram?
I did. No, I haven't posted it. I haven't really discussed it publicly.
Oh.
So yeah, no, it's one of those that, like I said, I told some people and stuff, but I haven't really shared it. And it's one of those things that, I do a lot of rock climbing. So I have clipped into carabiners a bunch of times, and the importance of checking the gate and all of that. And it was I just missed it. I clipped into carabiners thousands of times, and something just that day, I went through my checks, but I just didn't watch it fully close and I missed it. And the other wild thing is that the whole time when you're flying, those carabiners are sort of in front of you. You think at some point looking down or something, you would catch that and see it. And for a half hour, I did not see that at all. I didn't even know there was an issue until it was too late. But I did get lucky doing an aggressive turn close to the ground, because if it was any higher and that did let go, I probably wouldn't be here to be talking about the crash. Even if it was 1,000 feet up, I don't know if I would have had time to throw my reserve. I do fly with the reserve, but given the nature of how violent the release was of the riser loop, and I was falling completely on my side, it was so like disorientating, that like I didn't really know what was going on until I was on the ground.
Did you were you damaged at all personally? I know that your motor was, but were you?
So surprisingly, no. There's nothing wrong with me whatsoever. So I hit the ground, I don't know what, going 30 miles per hour or so, maybe a little bit faster, and nothing wrong with me whatsoever. Not a cut on me, no broken bones, nothing. Now I think it was all just, I think, luck. I crashed into a cornfield. I crashed on my left side. The frame took most of the impact. It's a cornfield, so the soil's a little bit soft. So I dug into the ground a little. But surprisingly, no, I had a little bit of my ribs were a little sore for a few days because the frame pushed into my rib cage. But no, nothing. You won't even know I did it. Now the paramotor, on the other hand, that was not a pretty sight. I looked at that thing, I'm like, I just totaled the paramotor. Like, there's no saving this. It looked like it's just a ball of scrap metal, with the netting on the hoop all torn up and the prop snapped and all the titanium spars were mangled and bent everywhere. So luckily, yeah, I didn't get hurt. It's actually a very crazy story that it wasn't worse than it was. But it was just
amazing story, and I'm so glad that you are okay. Definitely, thank you so much for sharing this. One of the things that what do you think are some of the factors that caused this to happen, and what do you think other pilots will need to do to make sure this doesn't happen to them? I mean, this is not an isolated incident. I see numerous pictures of the carabiner, sideways, and they're flying and they take a picture and like, oh my God, and they get down quick, but they got that picture and and this happens. So you're not the only person that this happened to. It happens to everybody, and it might happen to somebody that's watching this. So what do you think happened, and how could you fix it to where, this wouldn't happen again in the future?
Yeah, I know. I was surprised when I started telling a few people about this, that it either happened to them or they had a friend that it happened to as well. So the more I told the story to the few people, the more I found out that my story wasn't that uncommon. I met a guy at the flying circus flying that he was paragliding, and his let go as well. He ended up breaking his back and breaking his leg paragliding because of that. For me, I didn't feel like I was rushing that day. Like I would want to say like, oh, well, it was just, I was rushing. I didn't look at it. Cause we all know, like if you get out to the flying field and you blow a launch or two, or, you get started getting frustrated or the wind shifts, you have to relay out. And then you sort of, you clip in real fast, or maybe your buddies are taking off for a cross country and you're like, oh, I'm falling behind, and you rush a little bit. I was there all by myself. It was a calm morning. I thought I was taking my time. Like, yeah, I had a obligation a half hour later that I needed to be at, but it wasn't really like the reason for my rushing. And I think it's just, you just got to take your time and really, really check, look at it, make sure it closes, visually check that. I'm just so used to like clipping it in, and then the gate closes itself and locks. And I just, I guess I got a little bit complacent with it, where I just assumed that it was going to clip in, and the riser loop got in the way. Now the glider I was flying at the time was an A-wing, so it had a little bit of a wider riser loop compared to like more the higher performance gliders. To save weight, it seems like the loops are smaller. So I will say that it's probably more common on the larger riser loops, or more on the beginner wings, because it's more material that you have to get through the gate of that carabiner for it to close all the way. Because I've tried to replicate it, and you can, but it's harder with the smaller riser loops on the higher end gliders. But yeah, it's what I do now is I double, triple, quadruple check it, because after experiencing it, it's one of those things that it took me a long time to get over. The feeling of sort of like just all of a sudden falling out of the sky. It was something hard to work through. I would definitely say it slowed down my progress for a while. But what I do is I clip in, and I make sure I visually look at it. And then when I go to grab my A's and my risers, I look at them again. They're resting on my forearms, and I make sure, okay, the gate's closed. And then when I take off, I'm not someone, a lot of people sometimes take off and they go into an aggressive turn and they start going crazy. I like to just take off and cruise straight for a good, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And I go through the check again. I'm looking to make sure my wingtips are cleared, my brakes are good, and I'm making sure that my carabiners are fully closed. So I think that's a really good thing, is right when you take off, you don't have to go and start busting out aggressive turns or doing anything like that. Just check, make sure everything looks good. Make sure you don't have a brake line wrapped around, or, that your gate is all the way closed. It's nice. It gives you that peace of mind. And then once you check that, then you're good to go. But
That's good. I wonder how many people out there, if you're in the chat, has this ever happened to you where you look down and your gate's not closed on your carabiner? Also, when you take off and you're taking off, just like you said, in the first 10, 15 seconds, are you double checking, looking at your carabiner, looking at your lines, your wingtips? I do that. So that's interesting that you say that, because I do the same thing. As soon as I take off, it's like, all right, make sure I'm clear. Everything's good. Okay, now I can go play. But let us know in chat, has this ever happened to you? And once again, thank God, nothing happened horribly. I mean, it was horrible, but you were okay.
Yeah.
And we can.
It could have been a lot worse. Yeah. And when I tell people, they're just like, they're in awe of it. They're like, I can't believe it. And then even showing the picture to people, they're like, wow, okay, that's crazy. Like the glider, when it released, it spun around 180 degrees. So you're looking at the cells, like the pictures, the chase cam's taking a picture of the cells of the glider, right? So It completely sort of did a 180 on me right when it let loose. And I didn't even know what happened. I just felt an extreme amount of force from the riser that was still clipped in. And I just grabbed onto that riser. And like I said, almost probably like 2 full seconds went by and then hit the ground.
You are so lucky that didn't happen, when you're 2,000 feet up in the air. You could have been spinning out of control and not even know how to.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like they talk about, being up high for safety. And of course that is true, and if you do have some kind of deflation on your glider, or something crazy goes wrong, you have time then to think about it, maybe try and fix the issue. And if you can't, you have time to throw the reserve. But given the nature of me falling down sideways, and I would have picked up speed very, very fast. And my reserve is now on my left side as well. I'm trying to think. My reserve is on my right side. So it would have made it very hard to like grab at it and to throw my reserve. So I think even if I had 2,000 feet, man, it would have been still uh, I don't know if I would have been able to still throw it in time, just with how violent it was.
That is so crazy. Is there any questions in the chat or in the on the panel that you want to ask?
I want to say, first of all, Rob, your secrets are 100% safe with us, man. So feel free to like just unload, man. Get it off your chest. But I've never had that particular situation happen, but I have looked up and seen the nut completely down off of my Malian. Completely, you gotta unscrew the nut on the triangle and I've seen it completely down. That's as close to that scared the crap out of me. But
and that could be dangerous as well, because I saw someone recently post a picture where the nut was all the way down and the Malian started bending open, and it was at the point where it was on the A's. It was on the A's where it was happening too. Yeah. And if it just bent a little bit more, those A's would have popped right off, and you'd probably have some weird stuff happening to your glider at that point. That would be pretty scary.
Or the same thing, you could unload the glider, and I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with situations like that. But Yankee Paramotor said that it's funny how experience changes behavior. And yeah, man, it does. No question about it. There were a couple of questions in the chat, Sean.
Yeah, please go ahead and let us know what they are.
Okay. Deweese Milstead was asking what equipment you fly.
What I'm flying right now is I'm flying a Parajet Maverick with a Moster 185. And I'm currently flying a BGD Luna 2, a 20 meter. So I was on a 23 meter for a while, and I decided to go down a size, something a little bit more sportier, a little bit more playful. So I actually.
How do you like the Luna?
Oh, I love it. It's been a lot of fun. No complaints with it. I think it's a very good glider for my skill level. As a intermediate level pilot, and it's been something I could definitely grow into for sure.
This looks like bad apples, because I flew over the same thing.
Yes, that is correct. That is bad apples, and that was a beautiful place to fly over. I really did enjoy. Every morning I would fly there, and I would just do wing overs and buzz around there, and that's all I did.
That was probably you I saw that was doing wing overs and stuff when I was over there. I don't know, but I'm flipping through his Instagram right now, and dude, the pictures that you are posting are just amazing, man.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, most of it's with the GoPros. I use the chase cam or the 360 cam. I've really liked that for doing getting those the wing over shots and that kind of thing.
Absolutely amazing. So just in case you do not know, go over to his Instagram, and it's CON3081, and his pictures there are truly amazing. Look at that. Where's this right here? Pennsylvania?
So that's Pennsylvania. That's my home spot right there. And like I've said, I've been to a lot of beautiful places, and they're all beautiful for their own reasons. But man, my home spot in central Pennsylvania, it's always changing. We're blessed with a lot of fog, which could be a blessing and a curse. Sometimes you get fogged and you can't fly, but when you can fly and there's the fog that's just like covering the valley, it's beautiful. It's awesome.
I'm going to have to take my 360 out and start doing some pictures, because yours just looks so more incredible than my little pictures that I've been taking. Even though they're incredible, yours are absolutely amazing, dude.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's a little tricky with the 360 camera. It takes some playing around with and how to mount it on the paramotor. But once you get that all sort of figured out, it can take some cool shots. It's just really easy to scratch the lens. So if you have a GoPro Max, you got to be very careful to store the camera where you're not scratching the lenses, because once you scratch them, you're sort of done.
Yeah,
your pictures aren't going to be good quality.
Well, I got the GoPro Max and the Insta 360 1X, so I got two of them, and I definitely like the GoPro Max as far as the pictures and the quality and the videos are just so much better, I think, on the Max than the Insta360 Oh, look at that. A double rainbow.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was one of those days where like a storm rolled through and we weren't going to fly. But once the rainbow popped up, it was one of those like, I got to go at least fly for a few minutes just to, say I did it.
It's a double rainbow. What does it mean? What does it mean?
I don't know, but it's also on this side of the mountain. So you could have gone to that one.
That is awesome, guys. Freaking awesome. I mean, the pictures that you have are just great. So make sure you go over to his Instagram, CON3081. Make sure you subscribe. He's following only 1,000 people, but 2,648 are following him. He has 1,220 posts, and I'm sure he's going to be posting more. They're absolutely amazing. So make sure you run over there and what is it? Subscribe or follow, or what is it on Instagram?
Yeah, I think it's follow. Yeah, it's follow on Instagram.
Yeah, so follow on Instagram. There we go. Really awesome, dude.
Hey, Rob, I bet you've given this some thought, but have you thought of a way to mix mountain biking with paramotoring, or mountain biking with a wing?
No, I have thought about it. And of course, all my mountain bike friends are like, when are you going to strap that paramotor onto your back and like, do something like that, combined it. I've thought about it. I think it'd be very challenging. So I don't think I'll be able to execute it. I did try and ride my bike with my paramotor on my back, and I had issues with the seat board getting in the way of the seat on the mountain bike. So I don't know. It's going to be challenging. Maybe in the future, maybe I'll try and do something like that. But
it'd have to be some kind of custom rig.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to get away with stock equipment for sure. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe if I had like a split leg harness or something like that, then I can.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit easier to ride the bike with the paramotor. I think it would be pretty easy, like paragliding, though. You know what I mean? Like if you're paragliding, like sort of like start riding down the hill, inflate the glider, and then sort of just take off. And
I think I saw somewhere, I don't know, I guess it would be YouTube, but someone was on a bike and they jumped off and they threw a parachute. Maybe it was. I don't know. That's kind of cool. It definitely is not something I would ever try, but it'd be neat to see someone else try it,
Yeah. Well, now the gears are turning a little bit. I'm like, well, maybe I could do it paragliding. Yeah, that might.
Oh no. It's funny.
I'd be a little nervous with the motor on my back, but paragliding might be possible.
Hey, you got your three. You say you've been to 3 fly-ins?
Yeah.
You picked some good ones, man. You must have handpicked those.
Yeah, well, I've heard good things about those 3, so they fit into my schedule. So the first one I went to was the Flying Circus, and that one was so much fun, especially for my first fly-in, because that one does have a lot of personality to it. So if people haven't been to the Flying Circus but have heard about it, I would recommend going. I think it's a good time. It's like the Wild West out there. There's a lot of shenanigans going on. Like I said, it's got a lot of character. So I'll definitely be going back to that one for next year. I think it's in February, like mid-February of 2022. So that is definitely a fun one to go to if you can.
They shoot the cannons in that one, don't they?
Oh yeah, they shoot the cannons. Yeah, that one's pretty wild. I stood a little too close the first time, and then I'm like, I'm gonna stand back a little bit. It gets a little intimidating. We see though they shoot bowling balls out of the cannons, and when it goes up right above you, you get a little bit nervous that it's gonna land on you. But yeah, they did the bowling balls. They dropped money out of a plane. That was a lot of fun. That's like a dream come true for most people. Like they dropped.
Wow.
I forget what the amount of money was. It was a few $1,000s that they dropped out of the plane.
Wow.
And that was, you just see hundreds of people chasing after this money. It was intense. I got ran into, I cut up my knees diving for money. But it was a bunch of fun.
Now that's a real sport right there. That's a dangerous sport right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
One more thing,
Wow.
Sean, I'll turn it back to you, but Mad Sloper, he came up with, that's a good idea. Speed wing with a mountain bike. That's like,
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
can be done. I mean, there's been some really impressive videos of guys doing it on skis, right? And
Yeah.
skis are easier, but I think if you can sort of mount that bike to you in a certain way, you know, like if you're clipped in on, you know, have your feet clipped into the pedals, it's possible. I'm gonna have to think about it and see if anyone's done it, and maybe you know, I can ride a mountain bike, and yeah, I just have to work on my, you know, maybe my proximity flying and my speed wing flying or paragliding, but it might be possible.
Could you imagine the air you could get with that? I mean, you
Yeah,
really have to work, I guess, to keep the wing loaded, you know. I don't know how that all would work, but hey, it's kind of cool thinking about that.
That would be.
We might be onto something here. We just invented a new sport,
Yeah.
para biking.
There you go. That sounds good. We need to do something that's interesting and neat. That's for sure. And of course, if you did that, then, you know, you probably would need a YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm. That can kick off my YouTube channel right there. That'll be my first post.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can go to McDonald's for your first flight.
Yeah, because that's never been done.
Never.
Never been done.
The panel. Look at the pictures. The panel. Yeah.
So, hey, you know what? We probably should do a picture like this. What is it? Command Shift 4? Is that it? Or 3?
Oh, you're going to do a picture?
Command Shift
Yeah.
4
You gonna
does
do
the
this
whole
one?
screen.
Command Shift 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, cheese. That was it. All right. We'll post this one because this is a
Oh,
good
my
one.
thumb doesn't
There.
look like it's going up my under my glasses or something.
Aaron I says it was $5,000 and he got $1.
Yeah,
Wow.
$5,000 sounds about right. It was a pretty large sum of money. I only got, I think, $9 or $10, and I was trying very, very hard. Like
Is this
I
like
was,
over
I
an
was.
open desert area that they released the money, or is it
Yeah,
like
they dropped it right over the airport. So the day they did it, it was super windy. So that made it even more intense because that money was ripping by. Like once it came like down to the ground, it was blowing by pretty quick. So there's probably still some dollar bills out in the desert somewhere from that. But it was super cool. Like that was probably one of my like dreams come true right there.
Well, Rob, next time you run out there, like put some knee pads on, you know, be prepared.
Yeah, I'm gonna need knee pads. I'm gonna get one of those big nets, you know, like one of those big fish nets. I'll be ready. I'm gonna be prepared for this upcoming one.
Or back, like a shop vac, you know, suck it all into the machine.
Something. I got to come up with a way to cheat. That's for sure. Yeah.
Oh, hey, heck yeah. I mean, nobody would know because they're all running around like crazy people, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny that there wasn't a picture or video of it happening, but I think everyone wanted to get that money, that no one had time to take a video. And everyone's like, I'm getting the money. I'm not taking a video. I'm not taking a picture. But if someone could have taken a video of this just cloud of money, just, you know, and then the pack of people running after it, it was intense.
So who was dropping the money then? Like from a helicopter or something? Or who
they dropped it from a plane. I think it was just like a Cessna or something like that. They did a practice pass where they wanted to see how windy it was and how far the money would travel. And then once they sort of figured out how far the money was going to travel, then they released all of it.
I
they
never
should have
heard
dropped
of that.
bags of quarters? That would have been more fun.
Yeah.
That would have been, oh my gosh, that would be pretty funny.
That
Trying to
would
pick the quarters up. Oh gosh, well,
look, quarters plop, plop, plop.
yeah, yeah.
Not on your
Exactly.
face. It's a quarter tattoo right there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that
Were there
was-
any
that was
fights?
kinda hurt.
Anybody fight over the money?
I don't know. There was chaos. I mean, there was so much going on there. I'm sure there might have been a few brawls because there was hundreds mixed into it too. So it was like a bunch of $1 bills, but there was also, I believe, a few $100 bills as well. So, you know, if you're one of those lucky people to pick up 100, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Rob he like grabbed that $5 and $10 bill and he's like, I'm out of here.
I bet you there's a lot of half $1 bills. You know what I mean? People grabbing the
everyone's-
same
yeah.
one.
People
Going
fighting
over
over that $5 bill.
Yeah.
$5. Give me. All right, Rob. I'm following you on Instagram now. So that was easy.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank
I
you.
just hit on that search and there you are. There you go. See, guys, it's easy. Easy peasy.
It is
that
easy.
easy.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat there.
I was like, I got this. I got this.
Absolutely. So was there, oh yeah, there was one question. There was, why is everybody white? When that happened, what we did is we have this new thing in the background where we can see different backgrounds. What you see is the white, but you don't get to see what we get to see. So this is a little snapshot of what we were going through. There's many different ones. We're just trying out different
That
ones.
looks
And
good. I like that.
it was cute. It was adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. I looked at me. I'm like, because the girls, they have to look and go, I don't know, I don't like the way my hat looks or something. But no, that looked good. You got me all in the little circle thing. It's like, there I am.
If you guys are listening to us and you want to see what we're talking about, go over to iflyparamotors.com and check out episode 95 of PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast on clearproptv.com. It's about 7:15 my time. So is there any other questions in the chat or any questions on the panel that we'd like to ask Rob before we head on out?
Hey, Rob, where are you thinking of going next?
That's a good question. I've been thinking about it. I'm going to finish off this year down in Florida. So I'm going to head down to Florida. It's been a little cold up here and I've been a little bit of a wuss where I don't want to bust out my gloves and fly out my gloves.
You're so dummy.
So
Like,
yeah, so I'll be heading down to Florida in a few weeks and then hopefully getting some good flying windows in there and, meet up with some friends and some people I've, been in touch with on Instagram or Facebook that I haven't met in person. That fly down there, meet up with them and just, check, explore Florida a little bit and, just work on some skills. I think that'd be a good place to, normally the conditions are normally pretty good to test out my new glider and just play around down there. But as far as for like 2022, it's still up in the air a little bit. Like I'll definitely be doing Arizona in February to do the flying circus, maybe go out to the Salton Sea as well. I normally do it backwards from most people. I like to go to the flying circus first and then go to the Salton Sea. So there's not like all those people flying at the Salton Sea. But maybe this year I'll go when everyone's there since I know a lot more people this time. But yeah, I gotta see what's going on with my work schedule and travel restrictions. I'd like to do maybe some international, maybe something in Morocco or France. So we'll see. That depends on the travel restrictions.
So you do paraglide then, right, Rob? You're paragliding?
Yeah, I just got into doing some paragliding, mostly ridge soaring. Yeah, mostly ridge soaring. Like I did ridge soaring at Sand City in the Monterey, California area.
Okay.
And then I did a little bit of paragliding actually in Moab, Utah, which I just got lucky with the right conditions and bumped into some random paragliding girls in the desert who invited me along to go fly with them. So that was really cool.
There's a lot of them out there. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. I didn't expect it. Yeah, they saw the Paramotor, and they're like, "Hey, do you paraglide too?" And I just so happened to have my stuff, so it was one of those spur of the moment things, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you flown in San Diego yet in Blossom?
I have not. No.
Okay, so you're gonna have to get out there because my son Robert Michaels from ParaglidingTalk.com, he's been paragliding since 2017, and he flies out at Blossom. And he also flies out at Torrey Pines sometimes or whatever. And I think he's thinking of going to Salton Sea next year. So hopefully you guys, hook it up or whatever. Or I might
have to meet up with them. Yeah, I would like to do some more paragliding. I thought it was something different. It was fun, and I think it has helped me a lot with paramotoring. So it's fun, different, but also a good training tool.
Yeah, you know what? Because how I am and everything, I might just hook you up on the Paragliding Talk Show.
Okay, that sounds good. Oh well, this is my first one, so by my second one, I'm going to be like a pro at these. I'll have to get a better internet connection, maybe work on that. But
this one, great. We appreciate you. We appreciate all your knowledge and everything, and that's what this show's about. we share our mistakes, and all things that go on, because a lot of people relate to that. And I'm glad that you kind of, opened up to us tonight and said, yeah, this happened and that happened. And yeah, believe me, this show, we've heard a lot of the cornfield crashes. Yes. So you're not alone, Rob, in the cornfield crashes.
But your secrets
Yeah, no,
are safe with us, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, no one will know. I mean, this is just between us right here.
That's right. Yeah, we won't tell anybody. No. No, we really appreciate you, Rob. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Anyway, we'll give it back to Sean.
Oh, back to me. All right, yay!
Back to you, Sean.
Well, I'm glad that people had questions, and I mean that's what the show is all about. Ask questions, have a guest, talk to them, and find out what's going on in their life, and see if they kind of resemble what's going on in our life, since we're pilots also. And a couple of years and now kind of being complacent in that incident. Other than that particular incident, have you had anything else that is noteworthy? I mean, you already shared that. So is there anything else that you want to share?
Nothing can top that. And hopefully I won't have a story that can top that. I hope that's the most impressive one I'll be able to talk to. But yeah, nothing else crazy. I mean, I've really tried to be as safe as I can. Like I'm always trying to learn. I'm trying to get into more adventure flying, or play around and maybe do a little acro and that kind of thing. But I've been trying to do it as smart as possible, having a good instructor. I'm always talking to my instructor and having him critique stuff I'm doing, or having him call me out on stuff. If something I did was maybe not safe, or something that just he had his opinion on, that kind of thing. So I'm always looking to just put myself around people that have done what I want to do, whether it's the adventure flying and going on big cross countries or acro stuff. I've been just trying to take it as slow as possible, because I've seen it happen so many times in the mountain bike world, where people start getting a little bit good and they get really confident and they're just pushing really hard. And being a seasoned veteran of mountain biking and having my fair share of broken bones, you could just see instantly, like, oh, dude, you're going to hurt yourself. You're pushing too hard. You don't have the skills. Like, just slow down, enjoy it, enjoy the process of learning. And I think that's what I've liked so much about paramotoring, is just taking my time with it and slowly progressing, but trying to do it, in a safe manner, as safe as I can. Always just slightly, getting a little bit better, pushing myself outside of that comfort zone, or that skill set.
Have you ever
it's real tempting to just,
I'm sorry.
It's so tempting.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask if you ever taken an SIV course.
So I have not. I was going to take one last year when I went down to Florida, and it was a communication issue, but I might take one when I go down to Florida, if I can work it out, if the times, line up and that kind of thing. I would like to do that. I think I'm at the point now where I'd feel comfortable doing it. To be honest, last year when it didn't work out, I was sort of relieved, because I was like, I don't know if I can, if I feel comfortable intentionally, doing a full stall or doing my, asymmetric collapses and that kind of thing. But now with more time under the glider, I think I'll benefit from it more. So I would like to do one, and hopefully this month I'll do one, or if not, in the upcoming year. I think it's a good move.
Whenever you do it, make sure you let me know, and we'll bring you back on to talk about your SIV class and how you enjoyed it, and videos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That'd be good. Sort of debrief from it. So maybe I'll do one this month, and I'll try and do all the GoPro video and that kind of thing of it. So I have something to talk to.
This is what I did: is I put I had a chest mount with my GoPro Max 360, and it took amazing video. And with it just being on chest mount, it's not in your way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll use my 360 cam, and the chest mount would probably be the best way to do it. And that way you can sort of edit it too, so you can sort of get all of the glider in the shot, whereas opposed to like the Hero 9 or the Hero 10, you're sort of limited if you don't have the right angle.
And I tell you what, once you go there and you do an asymmetric collapse, or you do a full stall, and you're like, man, I had to pull this wing all the way down. I had to pull my brakes all the way down with 3 different wraps, and it barely stalled. And as soon as I let go, it opened up. You're going to realize these wings, they want to fly. It's so hard to collapse them unless you disconnect them from a carabiner.
Yeah, unless you do that, then it deflates real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turns into a streamer.
It does that. And have you ever thrown a reserve yet?
I have not. Nope.
Okay. When you go to your SIV course, definitely throw a reserve. It's absolutely amazing. It's fun, it's entertaining, and you get to feel something that under an emergency would be terrifying. But in an SIV course, you throw it knowing that you're going to land in water, someone's going to pick you up, and you're going to be safe. And it's so much neater.
Well, now, where did you do your SIV?
With Andrew Fuller over in Florida.
Okay. And that was a good experience. You liked it?
I had a blast.
Yeah, so that's what I'm planning on going through. I have to reach out to him to see if he has classes going on this month, but that was my intent. To do it down there. I've heard good things. A lot of people have done it, with him. So that's the plan.
Yep, had a blast. Well, we're about 4 minutes. Oh yes, go ahead.
About the you say, or both of you use the Insta360 to kind of mount it to your chest.
Yeah, so I use the GoPro Max.
And I have a GoPro Max and a GoPro and a Insta360 One X. Okay. And they both mount to your chest.
And Max editing.
The Max seemed to be a little bit easier editing. And with the Max, you can adjust the horizontal or the horizon line very easy. So you can get those really cool looking videos that, are swooping around, where the Insta360 One X has that horizon, and it's really hard to move around to make it look neat when you're actually editing the video in the app. At least that's how I felt.
Yeah, I have no complaints with the GoPro Max, especially if you're used to using GoPros in the past. You use the GoPro app, you can edit everything right on your phone. It's, I think, pretty user friendly, to put out a quick picture or a quick video using the 360 cam. There is a learning curve with it. It is a little awkward to use at first, but once you play around for a few minutes, I think it's pretty easy.
You're saying 360 cam, so that's a different camera, or is that?
Well, the GoPro Max is a 360 cam, so we're sort of using those terms interchangeably. Okay. But yeah, the GoPro Max is their line of 360 cameras. So what I do is, like, in the shots that were pulled up from my Instagram, I actually mount it. Some people sit on, like, they'll use a pole and they'll sit on the pole like a selfie stick. I actually mount mine onto the arm of my paramotor. That way I'm normally always flying with it. I normally always just leave my camera attached. That way, if something cool pops up, like a double rainbow, or it's foggier than I expected, I could easily just turn it on, extend the pole, and then try and get the shot that I'm going for.
That would be cool to see your setup as far as how you have it attached. Is it just a GoPro type attachment, or did you have to make it?
So it's all stuff that you can just buy off Amazon. It's nothing real special. But what I do is I actually use Velcro straps to mount it onto the arm of my paramotor, and it's actually very, very secure. So they're just like the cable management Velcro straps for, like, computer cables and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I just use that and Velcro it onto my paramotor arm, and it's nice and secure there. And the one thing I would recommend too is there's different types of poles you can buy. There's like the twist locking one. So as you extend it, you have to, like, twist and lock it. You can use those, but they're a pain in the butt when you're flying, to be messing around trying to adjust it and lock it. You can get ones that are just friction based, where you just extend the pole out and it automatically locks in place just from friction. So it's quick and easy. Like, I can have that camera taking video and stuff within 5 seconds. Press the power button, extend it out, and you're good to go. There's not a lot of setup, so that's sort of nice.
Neat. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on the panel, or any other questions in the chat for Mr. Rob?
I'll say I thoroughly enjoyed your stories. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, great. And you've been getting really good feedback too in the chat. So yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. Yeah. It's like I said,
Yeah,
my first time doing something like this. So it's been fun. You know, I've always listened to a bunch of podcasts or a bunch of these interview type shows. So it's cool to be on one, you know? So I appreciate it.
Good.
Yeah, now you can
Glad
just
you
search for,
enjoyed it.
now you can just search for PPG Grandpa's Paramotor podcast on any of your favorite podcasting apps and listen to you while you're driving down the road. How cool is that?
I don't know if I'll do that one, but yeah.
Come on, it'd be awesome.
Exactly. Rob, you're welcome. Come back anytime. You know, you can sit on the panel with us and hang out with us on Monday night. You know, watch for the link or whatever. And oh yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Yeah, maybe after my Florida trip in a month or two, and if I do that SIV, I can come back, report on that and let you know how that went, because I think that'll be a big milestone for me, because I've always been sort of a wuss with flying in turbulence and the bumps and worrying about my glider, taking a collapse and that kind of thing. So this might, boost my confidence level just with the gear. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. No, that sounds good. Like I said, Monday nights, you jump on with us. We all just hang out on Mondays, just like this, right, Sean? This
Absolutely. You can just jump on and be part of the panel like we are right here. I mean, Will was on and Jim, and just come here and hang out with us. And next person that we have is going to be Jared next week. So you can actually ask Jared some questions being here on the panel. How cool is that?
All right.
Sounds good.
See, look at Will. Look how chilled he is every show. Chilling.
Will the chill. Will.
Just watch Will.
Will fly. Will chill. Will have adventures.
The Dairy Queen Blizzard guy. He's all about. He is. He's just like, I'm telling you. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to make Will's head too big, tonight, because he's already like, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, there's a lot of people in the chat, so let's run through everybody in the chat and say hi. So Rob, of course we got Bill H, Denise Olstead, Susan Ray, John Wayne, Eric. That's ppglear.com. How cool is that? Will Fly is also in here. Stephen Goodpaster, Tommy Anderson, Corey Stewart.
Tommy. Hi, Tommy.
Yankee Paramotor, Bill H again, Mad Sloper.
Bill.
Let's see, scroll down. Lots of people are chatting. That's awesome. And thank you guys for all the chatting that you're doing here too, and talking back and forth and just hanging out with us.
Love it.
Let's see. Kent Stamey in the house. What's up, my friend? And he dropped $10 in the super chat. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate you dropping that 10 spot. Let's see. We also have, let me scroll down. Lots of people chatting. Aaron the Paramotor guy. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. Hi, Aaron.
What's up, Aaron? Man, there's just a lot of chatting going on. I can't believe I missed so much.
I'm so excited.
So sorry. We got Derek Clark in the house. Mark Droids. What's up, guys? Good to see ya. Glad you were here and hanging out with us. We got 22 people watching, 17 thumbs up. Thank you very much for the thumbs up.
Thank you,
really helps a lot. Deweese Milstead, Angela Preslick. Angela Preslick is one of our moderators. She does have the wrench, so watch what you say. Put you in time out, right? Tony Marzano in the house. He's also a wrench guy. Hot Buttered Steve, what's up, dude?
Oh. In the house.
Let's see. Who else? Did I miss anybody?
Who's Mark McElroy? Paralife PPG.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it. That guy sounds real familiar.
As I'm scrolling down, I haven't seen him yet. He doesn't really talk a lot, so he really needs to talk a lot. If he does, you know what he needs to talk about is his amazing shirts. I mean, his shirts are amazing. If you haven't been over to his merch, it's paralifeppg.com. Amazing shirts, awesome merch. Got to check him out. Really awesome. And since I'm throwing out his merch, I'm going to throw out mine too. It's iloveppg.com. And I even showcase something at the very top of our of the super chat. If you look up there, that's the official ClearProp TV shirt that you can buy, and that way you don't have to drop in some money in the chat. You can actually buy something, and we get a little something that helps us out over here at ClearProp TV. So thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. We've got Jim from Canada A over at carepp.com and careppg.com, Will Fly ppg.com, and paramomusa.com. Always find me at ppggrandpa.com or iflyparamotors.com. And Rob, we can find you over at Instagram at CON3081, correct?
That is correct.
Any other questions or last minute things that we want to say or words of advice before we leave everybody back until tomorrow on, is it ppglear.com tomorrow, guys? So I think you go over to ppglear.com, and then tomorrow we're going to have a show. Then on Wednesdays, we also have a show. It's Paramotor Girl with Flying Flamingo Jade. So go to paramotorgirl.com. And then Thursday, what's going on Thursday?
Paraglidingtalk.com.
Of course.
With my son, Robert Michael.
Nothing really is going on Friday or Saturday, but we got our Paramotor Nation on Sunday at our paramotornation.com. What?
No, he had his last show last night.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I missed it last night because I was watching Yellowstone. I'm going to watch it tonight, but yeah.
We had my mom over here. Hi, Mom. Hi.
I was going to ask if you had her in the background.
Oh yeah. It's something
Let
that
us know when your mom's back there. So,
she's
pretty inappropriate.
What's up, pretty in pink?
Beautiful.
So,
I love her.
So any words of wisdom before we head on out? Any other questions in the chat or anything that anybody would like to say? No?
Check your carabiners.
Yeah.
There you go.
Check them.
That's my words of wisdom.
Yeah.
It can happen to anyone. Like I said, I've done it thousands of times, clipping in, and never had any issues. And that day I did. So if I double checked it, it probably wouldn't have happened.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you so much for sharing your story. I know that you didn't have to, and you only shared it with some close friends, and now you shared it with just a couple more close friends.
That's right. Yeah. You're all family.
Some new close friends. Yeah.
Some new close friends. And I tell you what, everyone here, if you heard the story and you value the information, please go over to Instagram and go to CON3081 and follow Rob. Give him some thumbs up or hearts over there. It's hearts, right? Hearts at Instagram.
Yep.
Heart him up a little bit.
Five. Yeah.
Give him some high fives and some hearts. And we really appreciate everyone here. All right. If that's it, if no one has anything else to say.
Yes. I have to thank my chatters always before we say goodnight, whatever. Thank you, chatters. I so appreciate you coming here and hanging on the show and hang with everybody and sit in the chat room and all that. So.
I know you didn't have to, but we thank you that you did. And also thank you, John Wayne. He's one of our supporters here. He supports us by joining our channel, and he is a VIP. So thank you very much, John Wayne. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Cowboy.
All right. Well, if that's it, no other words of advice or anything like that. Well, thank you very much. Make sure you go over to ppglear.com for tomorrow's show, and paramotorgirl.com on Wednesday, and paraglidingtalk.com on Thursday. Y'all have a great evening. Once again, Robbie, thank you so much, buddy, for joining us on the show, bud.
You'll be in touch.
Thanks for the invite, guys. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
Have
a great evening.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Peace.